Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. So did you get your scripts yesterday? Well, I'm not laughing about that in case you didn't. But I got up this morning and I saw in the news that a subsidiary of United Healthcare called, what was it, Change Health, something like that, was hacked. And it made it difficult, still is making it difficult, made it impossible for many pharmacies across the country to fill prescriptions. This comes on the heel. Actually, it happened before the AT&T outage, which some were trying to ascribe to a solar flare. I mean, and at the time we don't know, but it looks like no, it wasn't that when you look at the pattern and everything like that. And they're AT&T is trying to say it was a glitch. Do you believe that? I don't. I think, well, there's no way. I don't know. You don't know. There's no way to be sure. But I think that we could be pretty safe in assuming that a cyber attack could have been the cause of that. So now this, and hopefully most of the AT&T customers are back up now, and those who rely on that particular system. But that was kind of overshadowed this thing with United Healthcare or their subsidiary. The question is this brings up the important subject of being prepared. It brings up the question: are you prepared? Were you prepared for that? I just put up a question on the Patreon channel. For those of you who are with us on Patreon, and if you're not, we'd love to have you. Every day I'll start off with an announcement or a question or something like that, and it allows all the patrons throughout the day to to comment on them and to interact and give ideas and ask questions. It's a great format. It's really worked out well, and in addition to this, just the general daily chat on that, I put up, there's two subsections over there. If you go to collections, which doesn't mean people trying to collect money from, there's one for ham and also a new one for gardening for all the gardeners. And boy, I got out and I started working in the garden yesterday and taking out a peach tree and many other things. Anyway, that's neither here nor there with the subject of today, but today's question that I put over on the daily chat was, talking about the cyber attacks. Are you ready? Were you ready? I think these are going to come more and more frequently. I believe that these are the, if we are in a war right now, this is the war we're in. And as I think as the, and as technology advances, there's different terms, that we may have to kind of, I don't know, form ourselves to. What is a war? What's not a war? What's, sabotage? That's always been a part of a war, and I see this happening now. The question is, are you ready for it? And if you're not, how do you get ready for it? And you have to be ready for it. You need to be ready for this. I put up a series again on the Patreon channel about separating from the system, separating from your dependence on different aspects of the system over which you have little or no control. And it's vitally important. Now, people who were affected by this yesterday, this United Healthcare or Change Health down, I'm not sure if it's fixed yet or not, were the ones who relied on prescription medication. That's a big wake-up call. Okay, and I've said before, just addressing this particular one, and then I'll get to the more general concerns. And this, I've said, if you are on prescription drugs, you need to get off of them. You need to get off of them, and with the exception of a very few, you can. And most of these things are the result. Most of the scripts people are on are the result of lifestyle, and poor lifestyle choices. I said a long time ago when I let you all know that I started carnivore diet long ago, and I told you the amazing results that I have gotten from that. It truly is amazing. But I got off prescription drugs long ago, years ago. I had a situation. I let my blood pressure get too high. I was working in a sitting down corporate job, and my blood pressure was high. And they said my cholesterol was too high, which is all a lie. They've been lying to you about cholesterol. And it was only after I really started studying this stuff that I understood that. So make sure, don't believe everything your doctor tells you. Half of them are just drug pushers. Okay. And even the ones who aren't drug pushers are very reticent about coming out and admitting that they don't know what they're doing. Okay, most of them belong to medical groups that they will jeopardize their position in the group or their insurance or whatever if they dare to come out and say anything that is contrary to the official line of the AMA, and we know how much we can trust them, right? So anyway, years ago, I was on this stuff, and then Kelly told me how bad they were, and I got off them and felt a lot better and took care of myself naturally and dropped the weight and quit living a lousy, lazy lifestyle. There is no reason, a little tough love here from Uncle Steve, okay, guys, but an Uncle Steve who has been there and done it, who allowed himself to get up there. There is no reason for you to be overweight. Let me just put it that way. Okay, I say this out of love, and whenever I put this stuff on YouTube, I'll get some people coming back all cranky with me, and you shouldn't say that. That's why I hate sometimes to put stuff on YouTube. Over on Patreon, it's a totally different. And yes, I do keep mentioning Patreon. It is a different world. It is for the serious preparedness-minded people. The link is down below. Love to have you join us over there. It will be beneficial to you. But there is no reason for you to be overweight. Okay? You're eating wrong, you're eating trash, you're eating crap, you're eating too much, you're not getting enough activity, you are not keeping yourself in a healthful manner. Simple as that. Okay? And there are even some, go and watch the guys that I have recommended. I won't put the links here, but go watch the videos by Ken Berry, Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chafee. There's many others out there. Watch those. They will tell you. They will explain it to you. But there is no reason for you, for most of you all, I won't point at you. Let me say, there's no reason most people should be on any kind of prescription medications. Nope, no reason at all. So the people who were affected by this were those who are, right? And if they hadn't been on them, they wouldn't have been affected. Now this is the same way with everything else. And as I said, we can expect, I believe, more and more cyber attacks in different areas of our life. First the communications through the AT&T system, then we had the script things, and look at all of the other areas in your life that could be the targets of cyber attack. What if your debit or credit card system gets attacked and it goes down? Do you have cash? Do you have enough cash to see you through until it's fixed? Okay. What if your water company is attacked? Do you have stored water? Do you have the ability to further process water? What if your power company is hacked? Or do you have the ability to provide lighting and heat? Okay. Without that, what if your job is hacked? Okay. And all of a sudden they say, well, no need to come to work today. Well, if you're salary, you say, great, I got a day off, right? If you're not, if you're hourly, are you and your company doesn't do the right thing and say, we're still going to pay you, it's our fault that we're down, but you don't need to come to work today. But a lot of companies won't do that. They'll say, don't come to work today, you're not getting paid. Do you have the savings to see you through that? See, all of these things are part and parcel of real preparedness. And as I've said, you need to be able to live totally separate from all of those external, interrelated systems over which you have little or no control. That you need to be able to live a life, even if you do use these things on a daily basis, and there's no reason not to, I do. But if they all go down, you need to be able to continue a quality life without them. Now I know, I always get people on here who on the YouTube side, they say, well, it's easy for you to say. I don't know why it's easy for me to say. I mean, if it is easy for me to say, it's because I've taken the steps to be prepared, right? And I'll tell the story again because we have new people coming on all the time, very quickly, about when Kelly and I lost our jobs. Okay, we lost our jobs because we refused to take the poke. We had worked, I had 13 years in with a major hospital system. Good job. She had almost 12 in with the same hospital system. Good job. We were doing very, very well. Okay, and this little thing came along, the Fauci thing, and they said, well, everybody's going to have to take the poke. We said, no, not going to do it. Well, they couldn't imagine that people would risk a good job for that, and we said, no, we're not going to do it. And I was able to get a religious exemption for it, but then they wanted us to be tested weekly, and we refused to do that as well. First off, because we knew that let me put it this way, we had some concerns about the tests themselves. I'll just leave it like that. Many of you know what that is. But then I said, well, no, that's discriminatory. There's no reason for us to be tested weekly. I mean, if we get sick, then but no, we're not going to. And they said, well, if you won't do that, you're done, you're fired. And they expected that to bring us around, and it brought many people around. It did. You know why? Because most people couldn't afford to lose their jobs. But you know why we were able to be fired? Because we were able to lose our jobs. Why? Because we had prepared. We had already established multiple other income streams. Now, many of you know that I write books. That's my main gig. It was a major part of my income, even when I was still working in corporate America, and it has now become even more that I have, more time. I know. I'm behind on book number 7, guys. Some people are asking, what are you talking about your books? I'll tell you about it in a minute because it is a great lesson. But it wasn't just that. We had other income streams. And so we were able to lose those jobs. So for those of you who say, well, it's easy for you, Steve. Well, no. Yeah, it was easy for us because we had already prepared. See, that's what it is. Preparing means getting ready ahead of time for something to happen that may or may not happen. We never expected to lose our jobs over something like that. We didn't see it coming. We prepared for the unknown, and that's what you need to prepare for. So, go down your list today and think about if your bank got hacked, if your bank card servicing system gets hacked, if your electric utility gets hacked, if your job gets hacked. Are you able to continue to go along? Have you taken the steps to continue to go along? If you want a little help with those kinds of things and you're not with us on Patreon, please come join us on Patreon. The link is down below. And I will keep repeating this because people get so much more out of Patreon if you're really serious about preparedness and are making sure that your life continues to be high quality no matter what happens. You need to be serious about it. I know there's a lot of people in the preparedness world, as it were, who watch these things for entertainment. I'm not sure why. To be honest, I don't watch things that I'm not going to do or have no interest in doing anything about it just for entertainment. But I suppose there are people who do that. Well, I don't suppose there are people. I suppose there are a lot of people apparently. Okay, too bad. You all need to get serious. You all need to understand that preparedness is a lifestyle and it is important and it is a responsibility. It is the utmost responsibility to be prepared to continue to to be able to provide a good, high quality life for those who depend on you. Simple as that. So we'll see what happens with this, but I think that we're going to be hit with a number of cyber attacks. I think they're just going to increase, and we're in, as you know, a political season, and there are reasons that they might increase during that season. To let you know, if you want to know how to really prepare, I'll give you the whole thing here. And that's my books, the Stonemont series. If you're new to us, I'm the author of the Stonemont series, 6 novels in serial form that explain exactly how to prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a complete collapse of everything. I tell people I could make videos for 100 years and never begin to touch everything that I have already covered in detail in these. One of our patrons over on the Patreon channel, Lincoln Lambeth, said, and I tried to find. He left a comment several days ago, and I went back. I was going through it really fast, and I didn't have time to respond to everybody at the time. And I went back and I tried to find his comment, and I haven't been able to, just because we've had a lot. But he said something to the effect that this is a complete preparedness school, or he put it better than that, but whatever it was, a complete preparedness course in 6 books. And that's true, complete. I cover things in here that you would never have thought about. And I say that because I've had experienced preppers. I don't like to use the word prepper. I prefer PMPs, preparedness-minded person. But I've had preparedness instructors tell me that they've learned so much from reading these, and then I've had other readers that say they've read through the whole series 5 times and are still learning because they're seeing things they missed their first 4 times. It is that jam-packed in a great story. It's the reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. And they're available on Amazon. The link, I always put the link down below, or they're available through me. If you want them, get them autographed from me, I'd love to do that. You get them through our website, stonemont.us, and they tell you how to, and that link's down below, they tell you how to separate completely. You know, the saying that I have, the main character in there, Jim Wyatt, he always said, if the world falls apart, he didn't want to notice. Simple as that. You shouldn't notice if these things happen, and I think more and more things are going to happen. Whether it's cyber attacks like this, whether it's a great collapse, whether it's a societal collapse, whether it's a government collapse, whether it's an economic collapse. And all of these things are intertwined, so they could be a little of this and a little of that. I mean, it could be a casserole of catastrophes. I like that. That just rolled off my tongue. A casserole of catastrophes. Anyway, you guys take a look at that. See what you're ready for and what you're not ready for. And if you don't think you're ready for something, get ready. Start working on it. Start working on it, you know, to the extent that you can until you are. And keep making that checklist. Everything that happens, check it. Did this affect me? If it did, let me do better with it. And if it didn't affect you, good. You're good in that area. Good for you. Remember, as we always say, that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Think about these things. Be ready for them. Again, if you're not with us on Patreon, we'd love to have you. It's just $1 a month. The link is down below. And if you haven't read the Stonemont series, not only will you learn a lot, you will love the story. It's a world that you would prefer to be in to the one you live in now. And with that in mind, have a good day. I'm going to go make one now for the patrons over on the Patreon channel. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.